I'm trying to give you any possible advice. Trying to enter this road, this road, this road, this road, this road. Whatever road gets there, I'm trying to enter them. Be still. Means don't try anything. Marcelo está por ahí. No.
Ay, hermana, a todos. ¿Cuál ganó? ¿Este o este? ¿Este o este? Sí, sí, este. Aunque la mayoría de los hermanos, si tenemos vida, si tenemos la vida de saber, igual lloramos.
¿Cómo habla esta parte?
Tapi Juan encanta. Oh,
Have you say good night? In Greek. En español. Ajá. ¿Mm? Oh. Mm. Aparece en español los datos de... Ya, vamos a ver.
Buenas, César. ¿Qué
Bien.
tal? Bien. Te quería comentar, bueno, son varias cosas, pero em, la primera acerca de meterse en las reuniones y tal, ¿no? Has dicho ya varias veces que si tienes claro cómo se indaga, que no hace falta pues preguntar nada ni nada, pero siento como que también se crea como una especie de adicción a ver las charlas. mm, a, pues a meterse en las reuniones. Mm, no sé qué piensas de eso, pero siento que me está pasando a mí de alguna manera como adicción al conocimiento, por así decirlo.
Si hay alguien interesado en el conocimiento, bienvenido. Si no están interesados en el conocimiento, sino que sienten que al estar juntos se les hace más fácil callar a la mente o la mente se calla sola, bienvenidos.
Sí, no bien. Pero fuera del mensaje, bueno, del mensaje principal, que es la atención de lo visto al que ve, como que todo lo demás puede pasar por alto, ¿no? De lo que tú digas incluso, ¿no?
No entendí nada de lo que dicen cuando lo...
Sí, no, tú, o sea, puedes hablar de otras cosas, ¿no? Pero con entender cómo se indaga es suficiente en ese sentido, ¿no?
No. ¿Tú entiendes algo de lo que dicen? No. No,
Pero ¿por qué no se me escucha? ¿Por qué no se entiende?
no se entiende nada porque baja millón. Creo que es el acento.
Ah, vale, perdón. Em, no sé si es el internet o...
No, no es
Que si
internet.
has...
Es que
¿No?
no modulas, no. ¿Ah? No utiliza las palabras. Algo así lo que...
Vale, vale. Espera. Em, que digo, que si has entendido la indagación, el resto de cosas que tú puedas decir pueden pasar de... pues, que pueden directamente ni escucharse, ¿no?
Directamente que
Ni escucharse. O sea, ni ponerles atención.
hace falta las dos. Hace falta el conocimiento intelectual, el conocimiento práctico y aplicar el conocimiento práctico. Sí, hace falta
Sí,
claridad, el entendimiento claro de la enseñanza y hace falta la indagación. Si las dos van de la mano. Sí, un pájaro puede volar solamente si tiene dos alas, como una sola, sí, no despega del suelo.
vale.
Necesitas las dos.
Ok, ok. Mm, luego, hace poco, bueno, tuve la sensación, ¿no? Bueno, no la sensación, como se vio como un hecho. ¿Se me entiende, no? ¿O no?
Sí, a ver, si no te digo,
Sí, vale. De que no la atención, estás pensando en cualquier cosa, la atención se va de lo visto al que ve y,
ajá,
eh, o sea, esa propia atención moviéndose de un sitio a otro también es imaginaria, ¿no? Es la mente también, que realmente nunca pasa, nunca ha habido indagación, ¿no? O
¿soy
sea,
yo
es,
¿Entienden lo que quiere decir? El contexto de la pregunta. Yo no necesito
Que si
una
es la mente que
Ah.
hace que va de lo visto a que ve.
Al principio pareciera que fuera así. Como te identificas con la mente, como la persona, como el individuo, pareciera que el individuo lleva la atención a la fuente. Y cuando llevas el aparente individuo lleva la atención a la fuente, te das cuenta que eres la fuente y el sentido de individualidad desaparece.
Sí. Pero por eso, o sea, lo que sentí fue que nunca ha habido indagación, en el sentido de que siempre ha sido imaginaria, ¿no? O sea, siempre ha sido la mente
Quiere decir
y
que
junto a todo lo demás.
lo que quieres decir es que en realidad nunca la has hecho.
O sea, sí, sí, pero solo desde la mente, ¿no? O sea,
Pero es que así es como funciona. Yo creo
sí,
que soy la mente y yo como mente comienzo la indagación.
sí,
Yo como mente desaparezco. Yo como individuo desaparezco. Y yo como conciencia permanezco. ¿Me sigues?
sí, sí,
Como crees que eres el individuo, ¿sí? El individuo busca el lugar de origen del individuo. ¿Mm?
sí,
Entonces, el individuo se disuelve en su lugar de origen, en la fuente, que es la conciencia. ¿Mm?
sí. Pero también junto a todo lo demás, ¿no? Porque de repente también es como nunca ha pasado nada. Nunca, no sé, es una locura. No sé cómo explicarlo, pero
Sí, de todo, desaparece todo, 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 todo pensamiento, todo concepto, toda creencia, toda tendencia, todo, inclusive temporalmente la memoria queda suspendida. No la vas a
sí,
perder. Todo el conocimiento que tienes queda suspendido. No lo vas a perder. Sentimientos, emociones, todo se pierde temporalmente, se pierde todo. Eso vuelve. Lo que no vuelve con el tiempo es el ego, ¿sí? La identificación con el cuerpo, el sentido de individualidad.
sí. Y hay riesgo de que una indagación o mal llevada o sin supervisión lleve como a desórdenes mentales. ¿Eso es posible?
No, la indagación puede que libere del subconsciente ciertos desórdenes mentales que ni siquiera sabías que existían, tendencias, inclinaciones, deseos, imágenes, recuerdos, conceptos, creencias que ni siquiera sabías que existían, que estaban allí dentro de ti en estado latente o potencial y de repente se despertaron, se manifestaron. ¡Pum! Estaban allí en estado latente o potencial y se manifiestan. ¡Pum! Y si te
Ujú.
identificas con ellos, entonces tu comportamiento o el comportamiento de ese cuerpo es condicionado por todo eso que acabo de mencionar, tendencias, creencias, hábitos, inclinaciones,
Sí.
deseos.
Mm. No.
Eso sucede generalmente en mentes que comienzan en indagación y no han sido purificadas por medio de otras prácticas espirituales. Está bien, no quiere decir que haya nada de malo o que sea un error.
Sí, sí.
Generalmente la indagación es para aquellos que tienen una mente ah, ah, fairly fría. ya más tranquila,
balanceada.
más calmada, sí, relativamente tranquila, que no tienen
Sí,
tantos deseos, tantas creencias, tanto.
ya, ya. Claro, y pensar que todo eso puede ser destruido en un segundo es ridículo, ¿no? Realmente, porque, o sea, tiene que salir todo.
Mm, Eso que se disuelve temporalmente en un segundo, en menos de un segundo, no, no hay
Sí,
tiempo,
eso sí, eso sí.
¿sí? Y en el mismo tiempo regresa. En una
Sí,
fracción
sí,
de segundo desaparece y en una fracción de segundo aparece si queda todavía algún residuo mm, mental, para resumirlo de esa manera, utilizar la palabra mental que incluye todo lo que hemos hablado. Es el
mm,
aspecto ego de la mente el que desaparece, el sentido de individualidad, no la memoria, no el conocimiento, la capacidad de pensar, la capacidad de sentir. Lo que se van son las
sí,
ideas preconcebidas. Las
ujú,
creencias, la primera creencia es la creencia yo soy el cuerpo. Todas las creencias son agregadas,
sí,
están arraigadas a ese pensamiento. Son una extensión de ese pensamiento. Ese pensamiento, esa creencia se llama la raíz de todos los demás pensamientos, de todas las demás creencias. Pierdes la capacidad de pensar de nuevo, no pierdes la memoria, ¿sí? La capacidad de discriminar, de discernir para tomar decisiones en la vida diaria, derecha, izquierda, agua, té, café, arroz, pasta, pan, queso, mantequilla. ¿Me explico? Pero no hay la más mínima identificación con eso. El pensamiento es
mm,
observado. Ya no me considero lo observado que es el pensamiento. El pensamiento pareciera que fuera un observador. La mente pareciera que fuera el observador. ¿Sí o no? Ustedes me dirán, ¿verdad? Y la mente ya no se percibe
mm,
como un ente. Los pensamientos no dan la impresión de que ustedes son ese alguien, esa entidad mental, ¿no? Esos pensamientos. ¿Mm? Si uno se observa a uno mismo con tranquilidad, ¿mm? Y de forma cuidadosa, detallada, te das cuenta de que son los pensamientos lo que dan la impresión de que ahí hay una persona, un ente individual, independiente, separado, ¿sí? Es la creencia de ser ese conglomerado de pensamientos que comienzan con el pensamiento yo.
mm,
Es la conciencia de la mente, de los pensamientos, el testigo, si se quiere, aquello que los ve. ¿Mm?
sí.
Como ya yo sé que soy aquello que ve, entonces lo que piense, que más da lo que piense, no puede dejar ninguna impronta porque ¿qué es? Si la mente está allí como ente, si el ego está allí, si la mente está allí como ego, como ente, como individuo, como persona, entonces es continuo, ¿sí? Por lo menos el pensamiento yo soy el cuerpo está constantemente presente, en la vigilia al menos, y en el sueño onírico. ¿Ah? Puede que el individuo no esté pensando, que el individuo no tenga pensamientos, pero el pensamiento yo soy el cuerpo todavía está allí constantemente. ¿Mm?
Sí,
Ese es el pensamiento que desaparece. Pensamiento yo soy el cuerpo. Cuando el pensamiento, yo soy el cuerpo, desaparece, el conocimiento de ser conciencia aparece. ¿Mm?
Mm.
Eso es también un complemento a lo que te lleva a la indagación, ¿sí? ¿Qué fue lo que acabo de decir? No, antes. No, así. No.
Desaparece la cuestión.
Cuando el ego desaparece, sí, entonces la conciencia aparece. Es lo que quiere decir. Yo como ego comienzo la indagación porque creo ser el ego. Yo como ego desaparezco, pero yo como conciencia aparezco. No, no que aparece, porque no, no aparece y desaparece, se revela.
Sí.
Yo me conozco como ego, me desconozco como conciencia. Luego me desconozco como ego y me conozco como conciencia. Por eso dice que la mente es básicamente conciencia. La realidad de la mente es la conciencia.
No dices nada. Ya está.
La toalla. Que a veces es tan abstracto, ¿sí? El señor Ratalal decía, la mente pregunta quién soy yo, y la conciencia en silencio, es decir, como el silencio que es, responde yo soy yo. Ah, eso es muy poético, ¿no? Es muy abstracto. Y si eso no se entiende, la gente se confunde. Sino que hay alguien que tenga la respuesta. Uno es la respuesta. Ese silencio es lo que yo soy. Y cuando se dice yo soy yo, de nuevo es lo mismo. Yo soy yo. ¿Quién yo? Eso quiere decir, no puedo decir yo. ¿Quién yo? No lo puedo decir, no lo puedo explicar, no lo puedo definir, no lo puedo. El señor Ratanal nos decía, ¿cómo puedo poner en palabras el estado libre de palabras? ¿Cómo puedo utilizar los pensamientos para hablar del estado libre de pensamiento? ¿Qué ruido utilizas? ¿Qué sonido utilizas para referirte al silencio? A ver. Por eso dice, es una cuestión de conocimiento directo. O sea, el entendimiento del conocimiento, ¿ok? Ayuda al conocimiento directo. ¿sí? Y la indagación ayuda al entendimiento del conocimiento, ¿sí? Van de la mano. ¿No fue? Con el conocimiento puro no llegas a ningún lado. Ajá, perfecto, sí, soy conciencia. Y ¿no? Me sé los veas de memoria y los repito de memoria y realmente no sabes lo que quiere decir porque no tienes el conocimiento directo de ello. La indagación sin conocimiento, pues no sabe ni para dónde va. ¿Mm?
Ya, sí, sí. Pero me refiero ya cuando o sea, cuando ya asimila el conocimiento, ¿no?
Es muy raro, es muy raro. Esos son casos muy raros. Es simplemente la presencia física del que sabe que es conciencia, pero bueno, llamarlo un gurú sabio, ¿no? Hace que la mente, por lo menos la mente del buscador, se quede quieta sola. Es muy raro. O que colapse sola, es muy raro. Eso fue lo que me dijo el señor Ratanlal. No me dijo que era especial, ni que era mejor, sino que era muy raro. Cuando yo fui a Tiruvannamalai, pum, cuando Baba salía, pum, la mente se paralizaba.
También el contexto en el que ocurren esas cosas ayuda. Porque, por ejemplo, o sea, las personas que estamos aquí em, salimos de casa y no hay un contexto que ayude o que favorezca la indagación, por así decirlo, que esté como incluido en la cultura, lo que sea, no sé.
El entorno, la cultura, sí. Si estuvieras
Sí,
en,
pues, o sea, te encuentras con exactamente lo contrario que se dice
tú, sí has ido, tú fuiste a India también, ella fue con,
aquí, es literalmente lo contrario.
si vas a India, pues lo vas a ver en todas partes, ¿no? Hasta en el taxi, hasta en el tuk-tuk, en esos rickshaws, ¿no? Las motoneticas esas que hacen de taxi, todas tienen un colgandijo de algo, dato, el mismo taxista, sí, que te monta y repite un mantra, gracias, sí, gracias por esta plática que está entrando, o dame la plática que te estoy pidiendo. Sí, hay una cultura espiritual, si se quiere, si se entiende de manera adecuada o no, es otra cosa, pero existe. India está saturada de este conocimiento.
Mm.
Están las escuelas, la monoteísta, la politeísta y la Advaita, sí, el Dios que no tiene nombre. La religión, ¿quieres que te diga una cosa? De las religiones más puras, ¿ok? Indiferentemente de la interpretación tal vez del resto del texto, es el Islam. El Islam de entrada, que no acepta que Dios tenga un nombre y una forma. La adoración al nombre y la forma. En la religión cristiana tampoco. ¿Sí? No adorarás imágenes de barro, ¿sí? Porque Dios no es una imagen, no tiene imagen, no tiene nombre, no tiene forma, pero tampoco es una segunda entidad, es tú mismo, ¿eh? Aún así le dan vuelta a la Meca, ¿verdad? Donde se supone que está enterrada, ¿cómo se llama? O está guardada ¿cómo se llama? El arca, no el arca, eso tiene un nombre, no recuerdo ahora, pero Por eso, lee lo que tú quieras y anda a todos esos sitios. Perfecto. Sí. La mejor de la suerte. La única forma es que te lo explique y te lo diga alguien que sabe lo que está hablando. Sí.
Sí, sí, a eso es a lo que me refiero con un sitio que no tanto
Y
culturalmente, sino.
ahora con esta tecnología, pues te ahorras el viaje a India y la incomodidad y los mendigos y todo. Sí, porque puede ser atorrante, ¿verdad? India, pues, no es gris, o es blanca o es negro, ¿te gusta o no te gusta? Una de las, por lo menos esa fue mi experiencia. Si tú me dices ahora, vámonos de vacaciones a India o Nueva Zelanda, te digo, vámonos a Nueva Zelanda. Si vámonos de peregrinaje, pues vámonos a la India, vámonos a Tiruvannamalai, ¿verdad? Si vamos en este contexto, te digo, vámonos a Tiruvannamalai. Vivekananda fue la persona que le dio a conocer a Occidente el conocimiento de Oriente, los Vedas, el Vedanta, como lo quieras llamar. ¿Mm? Fue devoto de un gran sabio, Ramakrishna Paramahansa, norte de India. Y él dijo, lee todos los libros sagrados, todos, léetelos todos. Corán, Biblia, Torá, los Vedas, todos los Upanishads, los Puranas, todo, léetelo todo. Practica todo lo que dice allí. ¿Sí? Ve por todo el mundo de peregrinación en los lugares sagrados. Si aún así no realizarás la verdad. ¿Sí? Solamente lo harás cuando la escuches de alguien que la sepa, ¿sí? Que la tenga por conocimiento directo. Cuando conoció a su maestro, el primer día que fue al ashram donde estaba, el maestro estaba en un cuarto con unos devotos y la puerta estaba cerrada y salió un devoto y él sabía que él estaba en el cuarto. Me dice, su maestro ha leído muchos libros. Le dijo, no, todo está en su lengua. Es decir, todo el conocimiento está contenido dentro de sí y sale por esa boca, ¿sí? Basado en conocimiento directo, no el del libro, no el del...
Mm,
El señor Ratanal me dijo que hablara de esto, inclusive me dijo, primero que nada, no hables, olvida los términos sánscritos a menos que alguien pregunte, ¿ok? Es decir, habla en un idioma que todos puedan entender y desde tu propia experiencia. Cuando Baba apareció en Australia dando el mensaje que yo tenía que mi trabajo es hablar de la conciencia, para mí es hablar de mí mismo, para ustedes es hablar de algo, ¿sí? Llamado conciencia, ¿sí? Porque creen ser el ego, la persona, el individuo, la mente, el cuerpo, etcétera, etcétera, ¿no? Eres tú mismo. No vas a encontrar, no piensen en términos de alcanzar, ¿sí? De obtener, porque es lo que son. Tienen que entenderlo, es lo que son. Pero darse cuenta, exactamente. Darse cuenta de que son conciencia. Darse cuenta de su realidad sin nombre, sin forma, sin atributos, sin características. ¿Sí? Es una realidad que voy a conocer, en la que me voy a convertir. Tengo las aplicaciones de las noticias internacionales, un bombardeo ahí de noticias. Porque hay un rollo por todos lados que te cuento un cuento. En España también, ¿no? Con el nuevo presidente. El PSO, creo que se llama PSO.
Eso,
Dejó de decir de la izquierda, ¿no? No es la izquierda, es la derecha. Vale, vale.
Uy.
Listo, Álvaro.
sí, listo.
Hey guys, how are you?
Hola, good, how are you?
Hi, Cesar.
I know you.
Good. Good. I just wanted to just clarify something, I guess. Because of the work I do, I can sometimes get really trapped in the mind, and then dealing with the amount of people, and you would understand this, dealing with the amount of people that you have to deal with, and feeling their mind and their anger, their anxiety, and blah, blah, blah. And I know, like, I always inquire in, like, why am I getting affected by this situation? But is there an easier way to, like, be in a stressful world, witnessing it, but without feeling it within your whole body, if that makes sense?
You are already
Like that full.
You are already witnessing it. You are already the witnessing consciousness. Consciousness, the word witnessing is synonymous of consciousness. And it is called witness just to differentiate it from phenomena, right?
Mm.
When phenomena is realized to be separate from consciousness, and then if they are one and the same, right, then who is witnessing what? The idea of witnessing also disappears.
Right.
Now you are already that, but you believe to be what is witnessed. See? What you are consciousness, but you still believe that you are whatever there is consciousness about. Am I saying it correctly? Make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
Namely, body, mind, world, and so on. Energy or whatever, light even. You are already that which sees, see, which is nameless, formless, characteristicless, and so on. Right?
Mm.
It is just that we lose track of ourselves. See? This is because of the lack of continuous self-awareness. I am consciousness. I believe to be the ego, right? Then when I inquire as the ego, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. And then as the ego, ask who am I? Who am I means let me look at myself, right? But yourself is consciousness, right? That's what you are. And when you look at yourself, see, you as the ego disappear, right?
Yes.
And you as what you are reveals itself. To itself, see, by itself. Because I believe to be something other than the self, right? Then I believe that the self is something that I will experience. Experience. It will become the object of my experience, something that I will realize. What I realize is that I am already realized. I cannot realize myself because the self is already realized. And I, as the ego, cannot realize the self because I, as the ego, simply don't exist.
So simple.
Believe me, it's ridiculously simple when we get it right.
But we complicate it with our...
Yes. The complication, see, it becomes complicated thanks to the so-called self-appointed custodians of the truth, namely the priest, right? That tells you that the truth or the God or whatever it is something other than yourself. Even if you read the Bible, the name of God is I am, not He is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be still and know I am God. Not that, remove that. That's a mistranslation, right? Be still and know I am that I am. See?
Yes. Yep.
Be still and know I am God. So God is I am, not He is or she is. But dare to say that in a dogmatic religious society environment and see how it goes.
And that's the majority of our society. Yes.
I am that I am. I am that I am, or as I am, means I don't know what I am. But I know that I am, because what I am, I cannot know. What I am, I can only be. And what I am is invisible even to myself. I am invisible. See, I am nameless, formless. To know it is to be it, and so on. See, it cannot be known. It is the unknown. I am the unknown, right?
So do you think, like, do you find our world pretty insane then because of our obsession with body identity? So there's such an obsession, even more so now with body identity.
Absolutely. The humanity reached the peak of madness.
Yes. Yes.
If it goes further, if it goes 10 more meters forward, further, it's gone. Look at the news. Ukraine, right? Then Africa also. Nobody says anything. You may not even notice it, but there is a mess everywhere. Also, there are good things, but they are not highlighted.
No, not normally.
It doesn't sell. It's bad for business. Fear is a bestseller.
It is. It is. You find someone's pain and you can sell anything. I mean, I've always thought that's why religion was always so big, because so many people just want to feel like they'll be saved, but there's no one to save.
Dogma is dogma. Belief is belief. It doesn't have to be. Actually, this is what is understood as religion. It's dogma. The truth will set you free. And then the people believe that it is the opposite of a lie. The truth is your true self will set you free. See? From what? From your ego sense, from body identity, from the limitation You see, the idea of being limited to a particular name and form, is limited to birth, death, right?
Mm.
To be limited to this body, its lifespan and its activities, right? It's
Mhm.
apparently good or bad, whatever people think that is. It will set you free from what? From beliefs, right? From the very belief, right? First belief, first thought, first idea, first concept, right? First limitation, right? I am the body. That's a thought, isn't it? This is why it's called I thought. See, this I is a thought, therefore cannot be real. Right?
I am a thought.
Yes, exactly. They believe to be what we think. Instead of having the certainty of being the source, see, from where that thought itself emerged, right? So the problem is the lack of self-awareness, self-knowledge. Now, when you hear the word self-knowledge, it's like there is somebody that is going to have the knowledge of the self, right? Because we believe to be a person, right?
Yes.
And I, as a person, will have the knowledge of the self. The first thing that I heard from Mr. Ratanlal before I went to India for the first time, before I met him personally, sometimes I don't mention that, I forget that. Even I forgot that when I went to India. I couldn't associate the person of the video, or I forgot, with the person that I met in India, that interviewed that. And he said, you as an individual don't exist. You as consciousness exist. Ramana used to say the mind is basically consciousness. That superimposing self, see, a clock of limitation, right?
Mhm.
This is why we have to be so careful when we read this knowledge, when we hear this knowledge. This is why we have to, by all means, bombard me with questions, clear your doubts, use me, right? So the inquiry helps you to understand more clearly the knowledge, and the knowledge makes the inquiry easier. So they go along. Now, you mentioned the word inquiry as why am I stressed? That's not inquiry. Not why. See?
Who? Who?
Who?
Terry always says that to me. He's like, who? Like,
Who? Yes. Right?
Yes.
I. Then who am I is not a question. I is let's see what I actually is. Let's look at myself. The attention goes to myself, right?
Mm.
From the object to the subject, right? The stress is the object of the experience, and I am the subject. I am subject to stress, right? Am I saying it right in English?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, who is the subject? I, the experiencer, I. To whom
I.
thought pertain, it was translated in Ramana's books, right? to me, me whom. And then you realize it's not even a subject, right? It's neither a subject nor an object. It simply is. I am as I am, what I am. It means I am, that's all. And remember, these 5 questions will never help you. So don't mix this question with the inquiry in this context, right? What, when, where, how, why? Because this is about something, right?
Mhm.
Who? It's about myself. Not about what, when, where, how, and why. It's a, see, why this? See, when that occurs, see? Why that is, that keeps you in the mind.
Mm. Yeah. And then your stories continue.
It has to be done calmly. See, it has to be done with a pure mind. A dull mind is useless for that purpose. See? Huh? That's a stupid mind. It's a mind that is better go to sleep.
Yeah.
This mind is useful for the rest of the body. Right? By all means, sleep, rest. Active
That's
mind,
good.
impossible. It's useless because active mind is just, I am doing something to get something out of what I'm doing. Right? And the self, you will not get it. And inquiry is not something that you do. See? Ceases the activity of the mind. Because the mind merges into its source, which is none other than yourself. You. What you are.
Mhm.
This is why you have free time, by all means, without neglecting the needs of the body, your duties, or even certain amount of entertainment. Why not? You go for a walk, whatever.
Yeah.
Then just focus on the inquiry, focus on yourself. The world, the body, the mind. What is it that it feels so powerfully, right? Because there is no powerful than, there is nothing more powerful than than the knowledge of being, right? And there is nothing more certain and nothing more obvious, nothing more evident, see, than I am. But nobody pays attention to it. To the only thing that is actually there.
But we use it all the time, don't we?
Yeah, but
I am
in the wrong,
hungry.
in the
I
wrong
am
context.
tired. Yeah.
As body identity, see, as ego.
Yeah.
Then the inquiry will go on, should go on, see, all along the waking state, during the whole waking state. You will find that there is no contradiction between daily duties and the inquiry, even a conversation. Till the point that you remain self-aware effortlessly, permanently. That is called self-realization.
That's great.
If it's not temporary, some people, they are glimpses. See, I have a glimpse of myself, not,
Yes.
not of the self. You can have a conversation, you can watch TV. See, this not There is a moment that nothing distracts you from yourself. It's not even to stop thinking, see, but from where this is to pay attention to the place of origin, but it's not a place of, see, it's not a where, right? The very intellectual process, right, of the inquiry most leads to the understanding that I am the source. From where the thoughts are coming from? Well, from me. Then I must be the source, right? I am the place of origin. See, it's not a, it's just a way of speech. But if I take the word place literally, and then I'm looking
Yeah.
for the source, because then I believe that the source is something other than myself again, right?
Yep.
Then you see the temptations, yeah, the office, right? Family, whatever, right? It's pulling your ego back. See, it's trying to make it go out of yourself.
Yes.
And you see, it's a physical impulse, right? It's like an energy form, right?
Yep. Yeah.
That thought form that tries to, that goes out of yourself.
Yes. And that's exactly what it feels like.
As the ego, see, as a self, right? So remember that collectively, all that is mind.
Yes.
Collectively mean, what do I mean by collectively? As the recollection of imprints, right? Then the mind work as memory. The discrimination process for the decision making of daily life. That's the mind as intellect, right? Preconceived ideas, right? Produces the tendencies, see? And tendencies, right? And then as ego, see, mind as ego means as a separate individual self, the idea of being an individual. If there is body identity, I am this individual body, individual person, individual self. I am separate from everybody else, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So it's this aspect of the mind that disappears. And this aspect disappears, and then the tendencies disappears with it. So the memory that remains is just the memory of the body, right? Without the psychological imprint and the accumulated knowledge that you have. And out of that knowledge, you may find that maybe 10% is useful. The rest is just completely useless. Right? What I know, what I learned. See, the Phoenicians, Mesopotamia, the Egyptians, all that is absolutely useless. For the practicality of my daily life, it means zero. See, it brings zero into my life. Arithmetic and all the rest of it. Peace. All that stuff. Simple mathematics. Right? The knowledge of, I don't know, yellow ring, that you don't lose your, that is not gone. That is not a problem, right?
Yes.
So you will find that I am doing, and yet I am not doing anything. I am thinking, and yet I am not thinking. I am, and yet I am not. Because I am both. See? It's not there are two. When I say I am both, that means that they are not two, right?
The same.
Yeah, Advaita Vedanta, non-duality actually means, see? I alone am, see? There is only I, and there is nothing separate, different from I. Means there is no other than myself. There's nothing other than myself. That includes the totality. See?
Yes.
The nameless formless reality and this illusoriness that it is inseparable from it. So you cannot get rid of the illusion.
Mm.
You get rid of the idea that the illusion is real and that it is separate from yourself. So all this madness, you can't help it. Because whatever it is within you. You can't get rid of it. This is transcending. Transcending is that there is nothing that can be possibly be transcended. Wake up. And you have a watch. Set an alarm. See, there is news every 3 minutes, 24 hours a day. So, at least you pay attention to something other than whatever it is that you look in here. There is nothing here. Here there is just blood, bones, flesh, and thoughts. And that apart from that, there is nothing there, and that is nothing. When you forget that you are the one that is looking, see, you forget yourself. Enchanted by all that, you forget your reality.
No, I wasn't listening on this time.
Sorry?
I wasn't listening and like
Jesus. Sorry.
answers was
Do you have many visitors, Caesar?
No. For now, only 3.
Are they from Venezuela or did they travel to you?
No, there is a guy from Latvia, and there is a couple
Right.
from Spain.
Cool.
And there was a couple from Colombia that left a few days ago. Nice couple, by the way. If there is a space for here, how many people can be here? 10 people. No. If you reorganize the chair, I assume 6. There is 6 there. No, 5 because it's going to see 5, 9, 10. Maybe some people on the floor here. I guess maximum 15 people. Yeah, on the floor organized they can be. Y unos poquitos aquí regaditos en el suelo. Si vas a India, en la India, al suelo.
Y todos pegados.
Y todos pegados uno arriba de otro. So yeah, So you can put like, I guess, maximum 15 people, half seated on chairs and half seated on the floor.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Maybe somebody here beside me on the sofa.
On the TV with you. Your co-host.
Ramana said, what can be easier than to be? Is to be what we are. He would say sometimes, don't think that you are, just be. Don't try to be, see, you are. Right? Sometimes he would say, remain as a meditator. There is no need to meditate.
Just be the meditator.
Yes. That's the first book that I read about Ramana's teachings, right? And it's be as you are. Oh, a job is a job. You're gonna see, you're gonna do whatever you are meant to do, whether it's this, that, or the other thing. In reality, a job is a job.
But to not take it too seriously.
It's physical activity that is necessary for the maintenance of the body. This is my job. The difference is that you guys decide the salary. Can you guys hear that sound through the computer, the wind blowing?
The wind's blowing over here, so
Can you hear it? The one here.
we can just hear the wind blowing here.
Ah, no, then forget about it. No, I was just curious if the sound was going through the recording.
I can't hear anything through the recording. See, it's the wind is blowing there and it's also blowing here. It's the same wind.
Yeah, it's a strong wind nowadays here. There's some storms around. And then you can hear like
Oh, like the wind tunnel or something.
Yes, this is basically the whole day and night. So.
Wow. So is it going into winter there?
Yes.
Is it going into winter?
Which is basically rainy season.
Okay, so it doesn't get cold.
No, here, no, forget about it. Here is like the opposite of Russia. Here is are they hot or too hot? In Russia, are they cold or too cold? From the refrigerator to the freezer, and then go to the refrigerator
And
again.
wait until you're done again.
Uh, This is why they say that self-realization, the way is the lazy way. Because you don't have to do anything. Lazy doesn't mean that you don't do anything else or cook or what. See, this is for the lazy man. When you know that you are that, right? You don't have to make an effort to think or to stop thinking. If you need the mind for the practicality of something, because not all activities demand thought, right? Mental activity, knowledge or anything, such as walking or whatever. Then it will come to you, it will happen, right? If you don't need it anymore, it stops. It comes to your rescue when it is necessary, and it's like a secretary.
Yeah.
When it's necessary, yes, what can I do for you? Type, fantastic. Finished, done, she's gone. Or he, not to be sexist. Very
Gotta be careful nowadays.
politically sensitive nowadays.
Yeah.
Gender identity.
Yes.
Even the pedophile says that they should be allowed to be a sexual identity, a gender identity.
Right. That's a new one.
Talking about how mad this mind is. This is why, remember, when we sometimes speak about the ego was a necessary thing, right? It's not useful anymore. It's not doing any good anymore. At all. And the rest of nature, perfect. See?
Yeah.
The cat, the dog, the elephant, the zebra, ego is there. They believe they are the body that we call elephant. It doesn't know, the elephant doesn't know it's an elephant conceptually, but it knows it's identified with that body, right? Even the subatomic particle, ego is there. See, apparently it's behaving like an independent thing, moving here and there, interacting with other particles and so on, right? Friction with one and the other. But in the rest of nature, it keeps balance, right?
It does.
Humans already, you went too far. This is why it is said that God appears in human form, right? Order in his own house, right? But it's not that there is somebody that comes and descends in here, no. The consciousness reveals itself by itself to itself in human form, and through a human form, right? Then all this happens. This is what is happening here. That was quick.
I can sense you already.
Good.
Probably just your idea.
Yes.
Up in my head.
Yes.
When
Yes. Yes.
He's sleeping.
when you're touching the, which I'm shy of, or like shame of, and I'm this ego.
It becomes reactive. Right?
Yeah.
That's the whole point. The whole point is to all that has to.
But I can see. Sorry, maybe I'm.
No, go on.
So I can see, like there is calm, intelligent. I would say gentle. I would say just normal. Normal me, which is like not this all this stuff, and this banana monkey. And to dissolve banana monkey is impossible. The only thing when I return my attention to this calmness, to this, I would say like normal, but not normal with some like, but not in my understanding, like.
Only you understand what you're talking about. In your understanding, you're right, because only you understand what you're saying. You lost me like 40 seconds ago. I know what you mean. I feel it. I know what you mean.
And
I am you. So I know what you mean.
I know that you.
This is why if somebody makes sense or not, and even if the true knowledge is real or not, then it is reflected here somehow. Otherwise, imagine that anybody can fool me. How can I give advice like that?
Yeah.
Or you will become another wise monkey there. or you will, or you.
No, no, no. I will have a whole bunch
Oh,
of wise monkeys here. Yes, and I will be the wisest monkey. I will be King Kong.
That's what.
Enlightenment gathering.
Be great.
Gathering of enlightened beings, no one ignorant. It's not really special here. It comes in the package. Anybody that loses the ego sense, everything becomes obvious. Everything reveals itself. The functioning of all this, all that just reveals itself by default. Know yourself, see, and you know everything else. It also says, know thyself and you know God, right?
Yeah.
Know yourself and you know God because God is yourself.
Yes. Do you stay in that consistent space, or do you ever go in and out of that
Not anymore.
awareness?
Not
Not
any-
anymore. So did it just come to you through all your study and inquiry, or was it just one day it was like, it's there?
No. The ego may disappear temporarily, right?
Yeah.
It generally comes back as an enlightened ego. Right?
Right.
I realize the self.
Sorry.
Yes, yes.
That's wild, isn't it? That would be such an interesting thing to experience.
Telling you, that's the most ridiculous shape of the ego.
Yeah.
If you read, my teacher got sick and tired of me, and he handed me a book called "Hunting the Eye."
Hunting the eye.
Hunting the Eye. It's a book written by a Ramana devotee, Lisa Kernersen, I think is the name. You can find it in Ramana Ashram. It's one of the books that they said that. And there is a chapter called Obstacles and Traps.
What's that? Obstacles and traps?
That's one of the name of the chapters. And then Mr. Ratanlal gave me the book and said, go straight to chapter number, whatever, right? Because the rest you know it by heart, only this. So, and then he turned around and walked away. And and I opened the book and said, oh my God, that was like a slap in the face of my enlightened ego.
Right.
There is ego based on bookish knowledge, right? Actual knowledge. And there is an ego based on experience, because the ego bounces back, and it bounces back as the thought, I realize the self. And then, or I am that, right? But then we identify oneself again with the thought. Okay? Then you create another mental image of yourself. Oof. So there are traps before enlightenment, after enlightenment, and enlightenment is a trap. How can we realize what we are? We are what we are. Right? What we are is already self-realized. And what we think we are cannot realize the self. Is you are faced challenge with this question, are you self-realized? You say, oh God. If I say yes, I lie. If I say no, I lie. So what can I say? Right?
Nothing.
Because I, as the ego, cannot realize the self. And I, as the self, I'm already self-realized. So what can I tell you? So it's better to keep quiet and not say anything. One may say, see, like Anavalai Swami, see, somebody asked me, do you realize the self? He says, yes, I realize the self, but I don't consider myself a self-realized being. He said, that will be ridiculous. So in one way, one can say there is self-realization, but there is no self-realized being. Like Ramana said, there is jnana, but there is no jnani. See? There is self-knowledge, but there is nobody that can have it. It's impossible. Because you cannot have two, the self and the knower of the self. So yes. So Mr. Ratana was there, was checking, always checking, right? Even if you didn't show up for 2 or 3 days, he would send somebody to look for you and ask you to go to his house. You can't,
Oh, right.
you couldn't escape him. Even if you wanted to hide from him, either he will find you in the streets of the ashram, or he will ask somebody to bring you to his house. I was myself, see, like running around chasing people to see if even going to the houses. If I didn't, I say, find out where he lives and tell him that I need to talk to him, or I need to talk to him. Really?
Wow.
Somehow he knew what was going on. He would just, what's the matter?
Mm.
So yes. But by constant self-awareness, right? Again, self-awareness becomes permanent and effortless, unconsciously, right? You consciously try to remain self-aware, and then you unconsciously remain self-aware. Effortlessly, right? Comes natural. Whether you think, you speak, you act, you dream, or you sleep. Right? We are always that anyway.
Mm.
Just rarely aware of being that. More rare is permanently aware of being that.
There seems to be a weakening of the mind as you listen to more satsang and practice, if you can call it that. Like it seems to be easier to be realized, if you can call it that. It's cumbersome words, but it seems to take less effort.
Yes, that's what satsang does.
Yeah.
That's the impact that is supposed to have in the seeker or the participant or whatever you like to call it. Right?
Mm.
This is why they say, seek the company of the sage. by all means,
Mm.
because there is no other way.
Yeah. There's a lot of groups, like spiritual groups here in Perth, but I don't want to go and hang out with them because there seems to be a lot of mumbo jumbo.
And ego.
So it seems like it'll be detrimental to go along to these groups in a way.
See, for me, there is no spiritual group. This is just a group of people that get together, see, to understand this and to realize this. That's all. But there is no groupie. See. As soon as I see this, anybody turning this into a groupie or themselves into a groupie, they say, Mister, sorry. It loses its meaning. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
one could say even its sacredness.
Mhm.
It happened to me, or it happened around me.
Yeah.
I say, not a chance. Even if I have to behave like a madman for people to go away, by all means, don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
300, 400 people though. So what? So what? Who understood? Right? And who realized? None. So what's the point?
Sure.
Mm.
See, there is a story of Ramana. I love these stories of Ramana. He will spend a lot of time in the kitchen just chopping vegetables. Right? And then sometimes you could see him, passing by the kitchen, this man sitting there, chopping vegetables, like they do in India. There is like a piece of wood, and to the piece of wood is attached a blade, right? Like this, and then they cut the veggies like this.
All right.
Right? And then they would see him chopping vegetables. Then somebody asks, "What is the guru?" He will point to somebody else and keep on chopping vegetables. We'll say, you see how much he was interested in having groups, devotees, asking, seekers, teaching anyone, nothing. So if there is a desire to teach, right? An impulse, the urge, oh God, that's nothing but the ego. Be sure of that.
Okay.
Be sure that is the ego. If there is an intention, right? In any case, it's the ego. If there is no ego, whatever happens, happens spontaneously. There is no volition, right? There is no individual will.
Right. Mm.
Even when I carried for a while my little spiritual ego, I was not talking about this to anybody unless I was asked, right? Till the point that I was told to my teacher to do it, and I said, no, thanks. Out of understanding by my own experience and what I saw around him, imagine, talk about this, imagine that, explain this. I remember having dinner with Carl Renz in India. At the end of the day, say, my God. Okay, let's go. See, so much work to do. So what a job we got, right? What a job is this? Okay, guys, 10 to 10.
Thank you.
Okay, Cinderella's
Thank
need to
you.
go at home before the chariot turns into a pumpkin. Taxi's waiting downstairs. Okay. Hasta. Chao, hasta mañana.
Ciao.
Entonces,